All right, welcome, Weekend Warriors. Tonight we are talking about anime openings and our favorites. And what was the other thing? You added something to it.
Anime openings and why, and then sort of a general discussion into like character themes and background music and how it fits.
Okay. Well, would you like to start then? By all means.
Sure. I guess what we'll do is start with our favorite anime themes.
Mhm.
Mine has definitely got to be HT from Trigun because it just
Mhm.
sounds like a tribute to Jimmy Page.
Mine, I got. Let me think through. It's hard to choose between three. Oops. Mine, oops. Let me think. I'm
Oh,
probably gonna get some hate for this, but just because this season, the series itself wasn't great, but I love the theme. Dragon Soul from Dragon Ball Z Kai.
I kind of like that as well. Oh, Christian Torres is saying hi. Hi, Christian.
Hello, yeah. Tonight we're talking about anime openings.
And just anime music in general.
Yeah.
Um. So why particularly why particularly Dragon Soul?
It's just it's I've when I was younger I used to love watching Dragon Ball Z Kai. I don't know why. I guess it's because that was my first exposure to Dragon Ball Z, and the theme song really stuck to me, and just the tuning guitar sound of it and everything, and the lyrics was just very catchy.
Yeah, that's fair enough reason.
Mm.
Like I said, HT is my favorite because it literally does sound like a tribute to Jimmy Page's guitar work.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Especially some of his classics like "In My Time of Dying" and such.
Mm.
Now, what I noticed about that song particularly is it does sound like it's being played on some kind of a Gibson or Epiphone guitar.
Mm-hmm.
And now, guys, I'm going to establish this right now. I am into more than just toys. I like guitars as well because they're essentially a very expensive toy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it did sound to me like it was played on something kind of Gibson-y. So like PAF pickups. And now, if you don't know what that is, a PAF pickup is a special part of a guitar. A pickup is the electromagnet that reads the way the strings vibrate back and forth over those pins.
Mm-hmm.
A PAF is usually in the best scenario hand wound and has a big silver cover over it.
Right.
And they have this really unique, just bitey sound to them. And I think it really suited the guitar work very well. Like I said, it sounded like a tribute to Jimmy Page without copying Jimmy Page's kind of sloppy guitar work. Sloppy is the
Okay.
wrong word. Sloppy is the wrong word, but that's the best way I can describe it because he seems to have these little fuck ups in his playing, but he can play it that same way over and over again with that same what you thought was a fuck up, but is actually on purpose.
Mm.
I guess especially since I got into guitar, it stuck with me because I've wanted to learn to play it. It has been the one song I wanted to learn to play.
Right. Now, what about? I'm trying to think older themes. I'm just thinking classic anime themes that I remember. So, again, I haven't watched much new anime or in a long time because I'm not much into newer stuff when it comes to anime. I'm just not. So it's kind of harder for me to choose because I have to think way back to older stuff, and I don't like to favorite things that are mainstream. You know what I mean? Because that's like saying, yeah, everyone likes that, so there's nothing special there.
Well, I mean, it's popular for a reason. I have to give it that. There has to be
Yeah.
something there. However, with it being in the limelight, it's way too easy to, just really not appreciate it for what it is. Instead,
Right.
you're kind of on the hype train because everyone else around you is hyping it up.
Hmm.
So honestly, I always like to watch anime a season or two late,
Right.
because then by that point everyone is done, or at least a year behind. Because at that point everyone's more or less done talking about it,
Right.
and I can enter it with sort of a fresh mind because all the spoilers and shit I've just kind of blindsided, like
Right.
I can't remember them, and I'm getting into it as an individual instead of part of the crowd.
Of course. Now, one of the animes I remember watching the most growing up would have to be Digimon. I was more into game anime.
Yeah, that was a catchy theme song. It's stuck in everyone's head.
Mm-hmm. Or what about Pokemon Battle Frontier?
I didn't care for the Battle Frontier theme. I actually like the Pokemon Advance theme.
Was that do you want to be a master Pokemon?
No, that was I Want to Be a Hero.
Okay. That's a good one. My all-time favorite Pokemon theme, all-time favorite is We Will Be Heroes from DP Battle Dimension.
That's a good one. That is a good one.
And I wish it got a longer version, though, because the only full version we got was the Darkrai cover.
Very true. Let's talk anime soundtracks now that we're on it.
Okay.
If you don't mind, I've got a good song to contribute here if you haven't heard it. Planet Dance from Macross 7.
Okay.
Sounds awesome because it's played on a Strat, and not just any Strat, a well broken in Strat.
Okay.
And I've seen the band that I've watched videos of the band that actually played it, and if it's not actually, and from what I can tell, because there are knockoffs made out there, but this sounded too good to be a knockoff. It was an American-made Fender Strat, and it sounded like he was running it through a British-made Marshall, which is actually the winning rock and roll combo.
Okay. What about as far as anime soundtracks go? What about the original Dragon Ball Z soundtrack from Japan?
Loved it. Lots of guitar.
I'm talking about like the classic Japanese one that had the like more cinematic.
Oh, see, I'm not that familiar with the Japanese version of Dragon Ball. Personally, I have not watched Dragon Ball in a very long time.
Like, do you remember that that Man of Steel edit I did where I used Dragon Ball Z music and sound effects?
Yes, I do.
That the fight music I used in there was from the Japanese soundtrack, like the da 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 da.
Yeah, that was from an era in Japanese media when they were like the 60s were over. A lot of the old music was going out of style. They were trying to find like their own sound, the sound of their generation. That's why you've got the weird themes like the Gundam theme, and even some of the Kamen Riders had reflected the musical taste of that time.
Yep. They were
it was its own thing.
Definitely 70s and 80s, 70s Showa era Japanese music.
Yeah, they wanted a sound that was powerful. So they chose like a very melodious, deep male voice for this. And then, obviously there's like a lot of the horns and stuff where they were trying to mix it up, trying a bunch of different instruments to see what stuck. And a lot of it was very orchestral.
Have you ever heard the Uchu Senkan Yamato theme? Da 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 da
Yes,
da
yes,
da
yes.
da. Yeah, that's one of my. As far as old anime goes, that's my favorite. Nothing in
Yeah.
my mind, nothing tops that.
I don't know. The Gundam theme gets stuck in my head.
Okay.
Moeagare, 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 Gandamu.
I mean, I love the original Gundam. It just the theme never really grasped to me personally. But I'm glad it grasped to you.
Well, it's. Do you know what that literally translates to?
I never read.
Moeagare. Oh, moeagare means rage on,
Oh, okay.
and they reference it in one of the early episodes of Gundam Build Fighters as well.
Okay.
And it really is just sort of like hyping up the Gundam, and it gets you excited.
I feel
to
like
see
I
the
really
show.
need to go back and rewatch Gundam from an older person's perspective instead of a kid's perspective, someone who watches it for the visuals.
You definitely should. There's a lot of political intrigue. Gundam the Origin breaks down. It's like, who's really the bad guy here? You see it from, and once you watch Gundam, the entire Universal Century opens up just a little bit more.
Okay. Because I'm going to be straight up honest. When I was little watching anime, I never really paid attention to the plots or stuff. I just watched it because it was visually appealing.
Yeah, I think that's how we all got into it, is just the style was so unique that it kind of caught us by surprise, and we were sort of sucked in from there.
Yeah. Are we going to include tokusatsu music in this too?
We might as well.
Okay.
I mean, we're both toku heads.
What is your favorite toku theme then? We'll separate into categories: Kamen Rider, Sentai, Kaiju, all that stuff.
And okay, for my favorite Kamen Rider theme, WBX from Kamen Rider Double is a real good contender. The first, but you know, and like I said, I don't like Decade as a series. It was everything around it. The main story was structured very well. It's just the story was shit.
Okay.
Anything by Gact really draws me in.
Oh, of course.
The man has a pretty damn voice. It just, man, if I could sing like that, I wouldn't be doing this.
If you could sing like that, you wouldn't know me. I would be. You probably wouldn't even be on Amino in the first place.
I don't know. I think I'd still like anime.
Okay.
But yeah, so Decade has a really good. It's somewhere between Double and Decade, but actually no. O's
you
has my favorite.
1, 2, and 3.
Yes, and the lead singer, her voice is just really kick you in the face and keep on going. Just
da, 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 da.
As far as Sentai goes, that's kind of tricky. The first theme song I learned to sing all the way through was Kyoryuger's. So that one's, I just like the bounciness of it. But Samurai Sentai Shinkenger was pretty good. So for Metal Heroes,
what about Yoshalaki?
Well, Q Ranger, I do like Q Ranger's theme. Okay, Q Ranger might have lost my interest, but I did like the music. I love which actually takes me into Ultraman. My favorite theme from Ultraman is Ultraman Max, but my favorite Ultraman character theme is Ginga no Uta.
My favorite Ultraman theme of all is Ultraman X. My favorite Ultraman character theme is do you remember the harmonica music that plays every time Orb is walking in his human form?
I'm aware of it. Yes, I didn't watch Orb though.
Okay, yeah, those two. So Ultraman X is my favorite theme. Da, 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 da,
Yeah.
da, 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 da.
Okay. I might miss out on a lot of good music just because like I stopped watching Ultraman after X, and I'm gonna remain stopped until they finish with this whole getting powers from previous Ultraman thing.
Okay, so it's pretty much just like dragging a Celebration series as a full story arc that's over multiple seasons, and it's annoying.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that to play out,
Uh-huh.
and then when they start creating new or creative powers for individual Ultramen to have, then I will get back into it.
Yeah.
And
So you're taking the Star Wars boycott approach to this then.
it's just a question of like I understand what they're doing and I appreciate it.
Uh-huh.
But there's a point when you're just doing the same thing over and over again.
Oh yeah.
And this one is just kind of trying to milk that anniversary cash cow.
See, right now, I just handle Ultraman in doses. I say I'm a fan of Ultraman, but really I'm just an old fan of Ultraman.
I like the old stuff too, yeah.
I watch new stuff as eye candy, more or less, now.
Yeah, because Tiga was definitely great. Ultraman Max has a really powerful theme.
Mm-hmm.
Although, actually, now that I think about it, Ultraman 80 has my favorite theme.
Okay.
Ultraman 80.
What's your favorite Godzilla theme?
The Godzilla theme.
Out of all of them, like you've got.
No, that's
My
Star
favorite
Trek.
is
You know what I mean? It's like yeah, that's what I'm thinking. For some reason I started humming Star Trek. It's the same thing. I get the Indiana Jones and the Star Wars themes mixed up sometimes.
Did you realize what I was humming though?
The
military march.
Oh, the military march. That's right.
Yeah.
See, I like pretty much every version of the original theme.
Mm-hmm.
Just as long as it's played on horns
and
strings, you know.
I think that's most kaiju movie music, or that pretty much every kaiju movie uses those instruments in general, though. Heck, even Attack on Titan did, and it worked perfectly for it, in my opinion.
And there's a reason for that. It's a big sound.
Mm-hmm.
And what better music to go with a big monster than big music?
Mm-hmm.
Metal Heroes, probably Just Beyond. Just because it's goofy.
Okay. What about for the Tokyo? I had one. And we might as well include Power Rangers in it. Power Rangers.
Yep.
What's your favorite Power Rangers theme?
Either Wild Force or to be perfectly, probably the Zeo Rangers theme. I'm burnt out on variations of the original.
Yeah. My favorite is
and that's a weird thing because I say that I like any version of the original Godzilla theme, but I'm burnt out. And you know what I think it is? It's the lyrics. The fact that it has lyrics is what, makes me get burnt out on it more.
Mm-hmm. My favorite's either Dino Thunder or Ninja Storm.
Those are both very good themes too.
I'll include SPD.
Yeah. It didn't grab me. And that's probably my problem, but
I think what I really like about the Ninja Storm theme is the whole, it gives off that surfer vibe still, or like early 2000s emo rock music. Well, there
was still a little bit of grunge in there.
Yeah. I think it's kind of like what the type of music I like in general is, like that early 2000s, kind of like Disney Channel rock music type of sound, like that you would hear in Disney Channel shows from then.
Oh, there's nothing
That's why
wrong
I
with
call
that.
it Radio Disney. I call it Radio Disney music, or Radio Disney rock. That's my nickname for it.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely nothing wrong with it. You gotta like what you like. Just know that your battle vest will look a lot different from my battle jacket.
Okay.
If you were to make one.
Mm-hmm. I'm thinking about it. I might get like a For mine, it'll probably be another type of fancy vest, kind of like what I had for my Ace Red, except this one will have patches on it.
I would say just go with denim.
With
just
what?
because denim. Jean.
Okay.
Just because one, you won't
Spell
feel
it?
bad. Gean. Or denim. Denim is Denim.
DEM.
N. As in not.
DEN.
IM.
Images. Denim jacket.
And the reason I
go for that.
see, and the reason I say that is one, it's very sturdy.
One. I have one. It's just big.
Well,
I feel like
here's what I would say is, like, a lot of metalheads and music fans, they'll modify an old jacket into a vest by, well, normally there's a seam that separates the arm from the body of the jacket, and they'll cut on the outside so that only the sleeve side of that seam has been cut.
Okay,
and
I'll do that.
The strong seam around the arm.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's big, it doesn't matter. It just means more space for patches. Although, good advice for a starter jacket: just go to the. I
already have one. I can just cut the sleeves off of.
Yeah, and if you leave the sleeves on, I use mine.
I think some floof on the inside, like smooth cloth. So I cut that off and just cut that off to trim to the inside. So that way it's not sticking out.
Well, then just go to the thrift store. If you have to start modifying it so it doesn't come flying apart, then it's not worth it. Like I said, just go to the thrift store, get a piece of denim.
I rarely ever wear it. I need if I don't use it for that, I'm gonna throw it away. So
okay, then yeah, just have someone very strong, tight, small stitches.
Yeah.
To sew it up, and well, like I said, picking patches. Just from a music lover standpoint, find ones of like shows and stuff you like. Your jacket, the patches and the buttons on your jacket and everything really should represent the things you like.
Okay.
Like a lot of metalheads just go with bands, and then I've known some people who will create just a vest with patches from horror movies on it.
I already have an idea what I'm gonna do, and it's gonna be like retro video games, old anime, and toku stuff.
Oh yeah, Kamen Rider patches do exist.
Oh, I've seen them. I know there's four. I've seen one for the Forza Club too.
Yeah. So and obviously like bands and music that you like. If you don't mind, I'll give the audience a little tour of my battle vest.
Go for it.
Now I am wearing this over pajamas, so forgive the SpongeBob lounge pants.
Oh, you have SpongeBob pajamas? Awesome.
Yeah, I've had them forever. I just don't throw them out.
Do you still follow SpongeBob?
Not anymore. So let's see. Down this side here, I've got Steve Earle's Steve Earle's most famous song, "Copperhead Road." That says a lot about me. There's a little Minotaur in a labyrinth patch right here that I got at Comic-Con from a group of people called Storied Threads. Let's see if I can get that in there. And right below that, well, this was a present from Drunk Chaz to Sober Chaz. And I figured, well, why not? I still like Kiss, even if people hate them.
You were drunk.
Below that, I actually sewed this on today. And this is Motorhead, Ace of Spades.
So let me guess.
And then on this side,
Let me get this straight. You were
Go ahead.
drunk and you bought a kiss patch.
yes,
Okay.
I need a way to lock myself out of my shopping sites when I drink. On this side, Godzilla.
Nice.
Below that, Grateful Dead, because of course.
Mhm.
Below that, well, this is what ended up getting me the kiss patch. The little
Say what patch did end up getting you?
This got. See, my love of beer got me the kiss patch.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Below that, this was a little tribute to Malcolm Young. It's an AC/DC patch, and around the border here it says "Rock and roll will never die."
Oh, when did we lose a AC/DC member?
Like a couple months ago.
I wasn't even aware of this.
Yeah, Malcolm Young, the rhythm guitarist. Brother of Angus Young, one of the two founders of AC/DC.
I know that, but...
Bro, okay, I'm going to have to give you a catch-up on rock and roll current events, okay?
Okay, please do.
Anyway, below that, again, sewn on today,
I
is an Iron Maiden
music
patch.
on the radio, and I just pretty much assumed they've been just touring and doing shit.
Oh, no. Malcolm Young has been retired for 3 years. He had dementia for 3 years and died right at the end of it. And while, yes, the rock and roll community and the culture itself lost an icon, I think that was probably for the best, because are you even yourself at that point? You know, because there was no salvaging his memories. They had tried everything. I think he went down the way, you know, a rocker should go down. He went down being him.
Okay. Yeah. Because I feel bad now, because though this is probably my fault because I don't read into this stuff. I just listen to it as a fan and don't care to do research into the current stance of the band. So I feel bad now.
Well, it just means you got to play catch up.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, everything else on my jacket has some kind of personal significance to me, aside from me just liking it. Like, okay, my pocket here. Stratton Ski Resort was the job I first got a paycheck at. So this
Nice.
is the pocket. I need to get a patch for my current work, but this is where money started coming in.
Okay.
Pocket. And on this pocket over here is where the money goes.
Ooh, I dig that Pac-Man patch.
Midstream. Be down a little bit. And then, you know, we've got Mario about to stomp a bullet bill here.
Okay. So, like, if I got a patch for, like, Donate Life to represent my sister still being around because of her kidney transplant, that'd work, too?
That would, as a matter of fact, let me show, people for me is on the back here.
The dragons?
Well, the dragon on the left here is me. This is one is my little brother. And that American flag patch right by the tag, I don't know if you see it.
Yeah, I see it.
A very close friend of mine, a guy who taught me everything I know about scrapping and throwing hands and making hot dogs and everything. He was a Vietnam War veteran who died in November last year.
Sorry.
And that's kind of, see, your battle, before I called it my battle jacket, I called this my soul coat.
Yeah.
Because this is, everything here is me. Like, well, Calavera, this sleeve here just kind of represents the angry young man I was in school.
Okay.
I got into fights. My jaw popped for a good long while, and it still kind of does. Because, well, it kind of went sideways for a second.
Mine does the same, but it wasn't for your reasons. Mine was just I was jumping on a trampoline and hit the side when I was 10. Or no, I was 7. Yeah.
This sleeve here is supposed to represent everywhere I'm going, hence the phoenix.
Oh, nice.
And then everything, like I said, I've got a crap load of buttons. This one here, calling Batman, was to commemorate Adam West.
Mm-hmm.
Superman muscle building club because I like going mountain biking and I like trying to stay fit.
You have anything for Christopher Reeves on there, or could that be for Christopher Reeves also?
I don't have anything for Christopher Reeves yet. I guess this is just there for all the fallen Batman.
Oh, okay.
And then general stuff like that I got walking around my favorite town, like the Yin Yang pin here, the cover of Detective Comics number 42, which is Batman and Robin. This pin here is actually made from an old ratty comic book.
Ooh, nice.
And then over here, I've got 10th Doctor, Try Mountain Dew. This is a vintage pin from the 90s.
I have the perfect thing I can modify because I can add on patches to this. So I have this flannel, and it's of Superman comic strips, and I can add patches to this.
Is the fabric sturdy, like really thick? Because that's kind of what you want. And the reason I say that is because these patches are very tear resistant.
Okay.
So you want a nice sturdy cut. So like if you sew them on to something a little weaker than denim, that means if something catches the patch, it's ripping off and it's taking part of your shirt with it.
Okay. I think it.
Which is why denim or leather is typically the usual one. But like I said, use whatever you want.
I'm thinking I really want to use this just because Superman is my favorite American superhero. That's the one that really I grew up the most on. I say I love heroes a lot, but really, when it comes to superheroes, Superman's my favorite.
Okay, so a little advice when making your battle jacket. Even if you get an iron-on patch, if you iron it on, it should only be to tack it down for sewing.
Okay.
Now, for my patches, when I sew them down, I use dental floss because it is a very good, sturdy, fibrous string.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're going with like a regular shirt like that, I would use black thread.
Okay.
And what I don't just like sew outwards radially, actually go in a little kind of linear pattern here along the inside of the border.
Okay.
That's the strongest stitch you're going to get. And I would say like invest in a small sewing kit with very thick needles because again, these patches are tough.
Mm-hmm. I'll figure something out. My mom
and the cool
is
part is
good at that stuff, so she can help me.
Awesome. And the cool part about it is when it fills up, you can keep it and start another.
Okay.
That's the awesome part about this stuff.
Right.
It's one of the reasons I do this instead of getting tattoos, because I like tattoos. I think they're freaking cool, but there's a finite amount of real estate on your body, and clearing up more space is more often than not uncomfortable. So
I don't ever want to. If I want tattoos, I can just draw them on myself instead of permanentizing them, because I can never make up my mind. And I want something within the moment, but then like maybe 10 minutes later, don't want it anymore. You know what I mean? When it comes
true.
So I believe in just getting like artificial temporary tattoo stuff.
I like the permanent tattoos. I think that's cool. Like I said,
the thing is permanent. If you're an artist and you're really good and you're good at drawing, especially on like curved things. If you have good, like just safe materials to draw on your arm with, you don't need to go pay for a tattoo, in my opinion.
A lot of people who are really good at drawing like that actually take up tattoo and will actually tattoo themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And it usually looks pretty good. And like I said, if you have tattoos, fucking awesome. As a matter of fact, I would love to see pictures of your tats. Send just tweet some of your nerdier tattoos to me at El Chizo at El Chizo1 on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing, like the reason I picked the Duster one is well, I have sort of a cowboy street clothes style.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hippie psychedelic cowboy, but still.
I'm actually curious what your casual clothing style out in public is, because I've never seen it. Everything I see is literally what I see right here.
Oh, well, remember that time we streamed from, and I was at Vermont Comic Con, or I was at the hotel room?
Yeah.
You remember my cowboy hat and leather vest?
I think I remember that.
I wear those. This, jeans, one of my 3 pairs of cowboy boots. It's a problem. One of them has spurs.
Everywhere. So yeah.
They've got, like, my favorite pair has spurs on them. I keep my spurs on them.
Mm-hmm.
And I wear a leather belt with a Nintendo NES controller as the belt buckle.
Rad.
And well, people will say that's a very strange. And circular shades of some kind. And people will say that's a very strange fashion sense, but you don't understand. I spend a lot of my time in a town where fashion is really wild. Like, 1 minute, okay, you know those kind of scratchy wool blankets with the 3 stripes on them, and each in a different color?
I think so.
A beige base, like it's a beige wool, and then they dye 3 different colored stripes on either end.
I think so, yeah.
You could walk down the street and see a guy who modified one of those into a suit jacket.
Ooh, nice.
In this town, it's not uncommon to see people with all kinds of crazy colors in their hair. You see hard rockers, you see metalheads, you see old school hippies, you see deadheads, and
so you're in a very open area then, pretty much.
Oh yeah, and then it's all kinds of music venues. Every bar and pub in town has some kind of live music night that you can apply for. You've got the historic Stone Church Theater by the post office, and then you've got the Latches Theater, which does movies, but it also does like musicals and live events.
So, like, if I walked around in a red and white tux with white diamonds just all over it, and wore that as basic normal clothing one day, I wouldn't get judged at all or stare.
You might get a little judged just because you're dressing up.
Oh, okay.
Like you're wearing a suit.
Okay.
And there's a general distaste for the man in Brattleboro. Oh, and street performers, all kinds of street musicians there.
The man? What?
The man. The suits.
Okay.
The white collar who's keeping us common folk down kind of thing. Just think like old school, like everyone's on the same page. They're all in the same situation. Probably living in a little cracker box apartment over the Shinla Chinese restaurant.
How about like going around and just like all my clothes
like I'm trying to
all my clothes is comic book themed then. How about that? Like I go around in a flannel Flash shirt, Superman shoes.
Oh, dude, people would get it. There's a lot of nerds there.
Awesome, because literally these are one of my favorite shoes I have.
Oh yeah, it's like that's not an uncommon sight. And it's like I said, a big music town. If you spend a lot of time in Brat, you're either listening to or playing a lot of live music.
Heck, all right. Once I have a car and money to road trip, save me a spot up there.
Absolutely. And here's the cool part: is like there's even like instrument shops in town that have really affordable prices.
Oh, nice.
So like,
what type of instruments are we talking?
Like, well, there's obviously a guitar shop that also sells acoustic basses, banjos, tap drums.
How good are you at banjo?
See, that's tricky because banjos aren't tuned like guitars.
Could you by chance play sailor music? Sailing over the Dagabanto wasn't it a treat? Like that?
I'd have to read the tabs, but as far as a banjo goes, there are two different kinds: a 5-string and a 4-string. And the 5-string is typically played finger style, whereas the 4-string, also called a plectrum banjo, is designed to be played with a plectrum or a pick.
Okay.
And that's because the 4-string is tuned like a ukulele, G, C, E, A. And that means that if you just fret a string and strum, fret one string and strum, you're probably going to play some kind of a chord.
Do you mind if I sing the lyrics of the song I was mentioning real quick? Or just
oh, yeah, go ahead.
Sailing over the Dagabanco wasn't it a treat? Wind blowing east, northeast we had. Let's see. I was about to cough. Wind blowing east, northeast we had to give a sheet. You ought to see us running, the wind blowing the free, on a passage from the Dagabank to Grey Grimsby. You know that song?
I'm not familiar with that one, but I do know a few sea shanties. I actually had a shanty crew in Hokkaido when I was over in Japan.
Oh, that sounds cool. I feel like when we get our channel like up and running, we should do some sea shanties for the heck of it as like some type of videos, like band things. I assume we're gonna have like a band thing together too, right?
We could do that. I'll have to teach you Bully in the Alley.
Hey, I'm all ears for learning to play music, so
yeah, just pick an instrument. I mean, they're expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Like the nicest, like if you want a musician quality instrument, you're spending at least $100.
I'd rather just work on vocals rather than learning to play, because
well, there's a lot of voice care that needs to be done for that.
Yeah, because with my fingers, when I'm doing this, these ones can't do something else.
Oh, well then just get one of these.
Harmonica? Oh, I can do harmonica. I can do that.
Yep, and here's the thing, is like, if you get a harmonica, you're not going to stop, you're not going to have just one harmonica, because you can't tune these. They have different keys. This is an E harp, so it's kind of high. It's a higher register for it. This is my C harp, and this is the most common version that you're going to find. And like pretty much every toy harmonica you have is going to be in C. So, you know, it's like.
You do Ain't No Grave on there?
Ain't no what?
Ain't No Grave by Johnny Cash.
I'd have to learn it, but I can play. Hmm.
Can you do the Krusty Krab?
I used to know it.
The Krusty Krab theme?
Not on this kind of harmonica.
It has that same tune to it, though.
I'd have to go back and I'd have to look up a tab, but
okay.
Because that's the thing, when you're playing music, it's not just like after a while you can just listen and play, but if you're still learning an instrument like I am with harmonica, you have to look up tabs or some kind of tutorial. And then as you go on, your brain will just kind of associate certain spots on the harmonica with certain notes, and eventually you'll be able to hear pitch.
Okay.
And here's the first thing you'll probably learn on harmonica, is that your mouth is where most of the shape of the note comes from. So if I were to make a train noise, what I'm doing is I am saying takada takada over and over again as I breathe in and out.
Okay.
And
can you try just doing like outdoor railroad jail labor music from a harmonica?
Let's see.
Well, that's good.
That is Hoboing by Blonde Boy Grunt and the Groans.
Okay.
Remember when I showed you that band that played I'm a Vegetarian?
I think so.
The lead singer is Blonde Boy Grunt.
Oh, okay.
He used to be part of another band, but now he's in the Tenants.
Okay. My uncle Mark, he was a part of a band. He's a good actor, good music player. Right now, he works for Apple, but has a lot of experience in performing arts. And he for a little bit he had this group called the Righteous Blackguards, and they sung pirate kind of like pirate music.
Oh, so shanties and whatnot.
Yeah, shanty music. If I can look them up, I can after the stream, if you want, we can watch some of their music if I can find them on YouTube. I think I can at least.
Yep, and well, you can just write it down and send it to me over. I'm going to do something after the stream, but
okay.
Yeah, if you want to learn an instrument but you can't do a lot with both hands, the cool thing about harmonica is you take your non-dominant hand and you hold it with that hand like so.
Okay.
Then you can do whatever you want with the rest of your fingers. I hold it like this because then I can do hand wah.
Mm-hmm. This is probably a hard request, and I don't feel bad for asking this. Can you play the Thomas the Tank theme?
I don't even remember the Thomas the Tank theme. I would need a harmonica in a key that I don't have.
Oh, okay.
I have got an E, a C, and a G, and that's it.
Okay.
I would probably require an A harp. But yeah, actually, a lot of the blues instruments are kind of like that. They're supposed to be kind of easier to play. For instance, when I play guitar, you don't need to be doing much with this hand if you just use one of these. This is a slide. That's all you need.
Oh.
And then all you got to do is know which string you're plucking.
Okay.
And you just slide this up and down, and you learn your scales. And bada bing, bada boom. Well, the trick to it is this. If you don't mind this.
I don't mind at all.
So the easiest thing to do when you're playing slide is do what I did to this guitar. I tuned it to a chord.
Okay.
A chord is when you pluck multiple strings and it plays one note. So this one is tuned to open D. And that sounds slightly out of tune, but we'll go with it.
Oh, I forgot to comment. I like your classic Mountain Dew button.
Oh yeah, this is actually from the 90s.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was one of my favorite record stores was selling vintage pins, and I had to pick one up. I'm a hipster, I know. So
hey, we're all hipsters at heart somehow.
Yeah. So anyway, when you tune it to an open chord like this, that means if you just fret all the strings on one fret, it's still a chord.
Okay.
So, just knowing your scales, you can do something like this.
Can you do Soul Man? Soul Man?
Nah, that would take a lot more practice. I'll tell you what I can do. I'm going to put the pick down.
Okay.
And get a little more fancy. I'm going to go finger style.
That sounds so familiar.
Oh, that is feeling. That's just a rough approximation of "Feeling Bad Blues" by Ry Cooder.
Okay.
He was
I'm thinking. I feel like I've heard like those type of strums in some sort of show I've watched. That. What was it? It was called outdoor southern. Was it? What was it? You know what? I don't remember what it was, but I know I've heard that those type of like strummings during transitions of a show I watched at one point.
Oh yeah, that's a typical finger style picking with a slide. That's blues.
Yeah.
You can also.
I know it was somehow southern, and it was some nature thing I was watching, like outdoor wilderness thing.
That makes sense because blues was kind of down south, very rural when it started out. And honestly, if you're looking to play rock and roll, I would say start learning blues first.
Actually, I kind of would rather prefer to stay in like the area of like blues, sea shanties, and acoustic.
Well, let me explain why I recommend playing blues for people who want to learn to play rock and roll.
Okay.
You see, rock and roll came from the blues. Ever since Robert Johnson, because the whole idea was that it defied convention. So you had.
You hear a lot of the blues tune in Johnny Be Good.
Yes, that's exactly a good. See, that was when blues was kind of transitioning through rockabilly into rock and roll. Johnny Be Good is a great example. I would say if you want more blues rock, listen to Jimi Hendrix.
Oh yes.
Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Did Elvis Presley do any though that would count as blues rock, or did he kind of?
That was more rockabilly.
Okay.
And that's also very good. As a matter of fact,
Elvis. You cannot go wrong with Elvis Presley at all.
There's a few songs that you can go wrong with. But
at least that's my genres.
And honestly, I'm going to do that. I'm mentioning this because this is a music genre I really don't want to die, even though I have to admit it's very slowly dying. Folkabilly.
Give me an example.
Those guys I showed you, the Tenants.
Oh, okay.
Now, what is folkabilly? Half of the community are hippies, and the other half, at one point, are either currently or were at one point hobos. As they describe themselves. They would just kind of, in their perspective, life got just so stressful and so hard and beared down on them so much that they decided to just go for a very long walk.
I have a question. Where would the Eagles classify under?
Oh, more like contemporary rock.
Oh, okay.
Folkabilly, though, has got a magic to it. It doesn't have to be good lyrics. Sorry, the vocals don't have to be great. You just have to know how to kind of croak out in key. But at the same time, it sounds great. It's like, Second Avenue, it's closing time. Quiet feeling tends to soothe my mind. Ain't nobody here to throw me no dime.
I've heard that before. I know I've heard that before.
I guarantee you haven't. The barroom lights, well, they're all out. I guess that means there is no doubt that I'm playing just to fool myself. But that's alright. Well, the day's been long, but I'm gonna sing myself a couple more songs. Second Avenue has gone to sleep. I pray the Lord it's so to keep. My pipe's gone and I regret. Well, I just rolled up my last cigarette.
Did you make that?
No, that's Blonde Boy Grunt and the Grown, Second Avenue.
Okay, because you said I bet you have not heard that.
See, like I said, folkabilly is kind of a niche.
I I feel like I've heard it though. It sounds familiar from somewhere.
That's the thing about folkabilly is it always sounds familiar. Like there's one that's really more of a spoken word song called "Never Buy a Skinned Rabbit" that I highly recommend if you've got
Okay.
Spotify. And the whole moral of the song is that, you know, just because the salesman says it's good, or like, don't buy everything that people try to sell you, essentially.
Right.
Whether that be words or a product or a, you know, a way of thinking. Just always scrutinize everything put in front of you.
Okay.
A lot of them are about traveling, like Asphalt World is another one.
I like traveling.
Hobo. Huh?
Oh, I love traveling.
Oh, well, like I said, when I say traveling, I mean hoboing.
Okay. I have an interest in that culture.
Like Asphalt Planet or Asphalt World is just, well, you know, you leave your things, you pack your dreams, and you stumble down the line.
Okay.
Don't Free Rambling Man is something I think that you personally, you know, would vibe with.
Free Rambling Man. Okay. Ooh, that reminds me, an idea. You gave me an idea. You remember how we've been talking about plans when we have our own studio and all that?
Yeah.
What if we, for like a week or whatever, took like a hobo trip and we had nothing for like vlogging and stuff? We had just batteries, like just a bunch of like charged batteries so we could keep our phones charged for vlogging and stuff. But we take like a week, plan a week. This is like years from now, by the way, but like just go hoboing.
That'd be fun. Hell, we'll head down to California.
Mm-hmm.
Wish I was at least in Florida.
Nothing but some food, folk music on us, and stuff to vlog with. Yeah.
Just might hop a freight train, ride her clean to California. Hand me up some gold there and throw it in the sea. 'Cause all the gold and the silver and the diamonds of my memories can't take me to the one I want to see. 'Cause I'm hoboing and I don't care where I'm going. Hoboing, yes, that's the life I've made. I'm hoboing and I don't care where I'm going. If the cold wind starts blowing, I'll go the other way.
Oh, that's good.
That's Hoboing by, once again, Blonde Boy Grunt and the Groans. Blonde Boy Grunt, a.k.a. Mike, is, for lack of a better word, my uncle.
Channel or these where you get this music from.
I'll just send you to Dancing Chuck, a YouTube channel that really supports the folkabilly community.
Okay.
So it's Blonde Boy Grunt and the Groans, the Folk Faces, the Tenants, Simeon Soul Charger, who's pretty friggin' cool. Okay. And Monkey Day Parade has their own channel.
Sounds great. It is 8:59 now, actually.
Oh, so I guess closing statements. Thank you everyone so much for watching. If you like this, be sure to drop a like and follow us on Twitter. That's at weekend_dojo.com on Twitter. And to leave you off a little punk rock, something I wrote. I just want to tell you something. I'm brain dead, but not for nothing. All week long I've been working hard. I miss my games and plastic cars. But there's a place that I can go, a secret spot that you might know, a place my mojo can recharge, that weekend dojo in the stars.
You took Jehan's advice, didn't you?
Yeah.
I like that. That was very well done, actually. I think you've actually finally got it done.
Then, little punk rock guitar riff. Mm-hmm. Then, just a couple of repeats of Cruising Back to the Dojo, and that's our theme song.
All right. So once you get it all done recorded, can you send it to me so that way whenever I upload videos on here, I can put that in as the intro music?
Or we can just use it as the channel banner.
Okay.
Yeah, that way we don't have to peg it onto every single.
Well, I feel like we should, because you know, like when YouTubers who do their intro, they always have their theme song. Like, remember Apollo Z Hack?
Yeah, but I think if we're doing something for the dojo, because it's a bunch of different folks, we should just put like the Weekend Dojo logo at the front and with like a gong sound.
Okay.
And then we can have the channel banner be the song, and I'll talk to Gotchi about it. Maybe we can have the Nift Riffers play it.
Okay.
My band.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching. And as always, we will see you later, Weekend Warriors.
Stay more phenomenal, everybody.